things righteous. This is your girl, Miss Tempest, signing off. Be safe out there, guys. I love you. And shout out to Ralph. Ralph, you email me every single day. I really appreciate you. And also shout out to Up North Bill. We haven't heard from you, man, but if you're listening, know that we're praying for you. And once again, remember that you are the righteous temple of hip-hop, so feed yourself a good spiritual and physical food. Until next week, stay righteous. Living in Christ. One blood, one blood, one blood. It doesn't matter where you're from. There's blood for everyone. One blood, one blood, one blood. Let the weak say
Live from NPR News in Washington, I'm Giles Snyder. Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders went 3 for 3 this weekend. He won the presidential nominating contests in Alaska, Washington State, and Hawaii, where Jackie Young reports for Hawaii Public Radio.
Partial Hawaii results gave Sanders 71% of the vote, while former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton received 29%. Turnout was unusually high, with more than 32,000 ballots cast statewide. Island Democrats reported long lines and chaos at the polls. Some voters were turned away at certain locations if they didn't arrive on time. 5 of the state's 9 superdelegates have indicated support for Clinton, but Hawaii's U.S. Representative Tulsi Gabbard, also a superdelegate, has been campaigning for Sanders. For NPR News, I'm Jackie Young in Honolulu.
Bernie Sanders still has a way to go to catch Hillary Clinton in the delegate count. He's looking to make up ground, though, in New York and 5 other northeastern states that are holding presidential nominating contests next month. A solidarity march scheduled for today in Brussels has been called off. Organizers postponed the march after officials said police would not be able to cope amid the ongoing investigation into last week's terror attacks. Officials have confirmed that they've identified 24 of the 31 people killed, including 2 Americans, as NPR's Terry Schultz reports.
For 5 days, the family of Justin and Stephanie Schultz received no official word of the couple's fate, and so they kept up hope. Stephanie worked for Mars Incorporated in Brussels, Justin for an air filtration manufacturer. They'd just dropped off Stephanie's mother at the airport when 2 suicide bombers struck the departures terminal. A day later, Justin Schultz's brother Levi Sutton told NPR's Here and Now program the family had heard the 2 were not on any casualty lists. They remained optimistic. But Friday, Sutton wrote on Twitter all they'd heard was that Stephanie's car was found at the airport. Then Saturday, Sutton updates. We found out today that cowards took my brother's life. The world lost 2 amazing people. It's not fair. Please pray for my mom. For NPR News, I'm Terry Schultz in Brussels.
Syrian President Bashar al-Assad is hailing the recapture of the ancient city of Palmyra from Islamic State fighters. State television is quoting Assad as saying the recapture shows the success of the army's strategy against terrorism. Troops are now said to be dismantling.
All that snitching I did, you didn't hear that? let me start all over again. So we were partying last night. Phil was hollering at all the bartenders right there. Bartender was booty shaking all over the place.
Live.
All over the place.
Bartender was booty shaking, but I wasn't hollering at nobody.
Tina walked in, and as soon as she was trying to say hi to us, she already had stalkers all over her and stuff. But she was wearing this tight dress and a short dress. It was like this. Yeah. So anything else I gotta tell you? Don't worry, I'll tell you everything.
We're ready for the show. Everybody that's tuned in, welcome. Happy Easter. And Happy Easter. Happy Easter.
Ain't nobody
Eat your chocolate bunnies from the ears down.
Happy Resurrection Day.
But on a serious note, right? We got a 2-minute countdown for the Urban Cafe Live right now. So I want to thank you for joining us right here. Every Sunday at 9 o'clock, the Urban Cafe, we have a full crew right here. We have Phil, Sam, Lo, Valtrenda, Tina, the lawyers over here. Oh yeah, let me snitch on him too. He said he had a long night and 2 women. I don't know what that means. I mean, I didn't get the details, but that's all I heard. So you might want to take the camera there and explain what the hell that was about. Yeah.
ain't trying to get nobody.
Look,
I'm gonna be the nice guy with this.
I don't know why Nolan's on one right now. I did have a long night, but
I want
there's 2
people to
women
go,
and
you know
stuff.
what? I
It's
want my
Easter
son to
Sunday.
grow up just be like
I have no idea what he's talking about.
You
All
know,
that.
not like DT or Jamal or Phil or Sam. No.
I just want to know why you keep trying to say I don't like black women when your chick ain't got no shade of melanin.
Not
in her
even a
skin.
tan.
Like,
At least go get
Puerto
the
Rico
jerky
got
and
black in them.
tan and put that
she
on
don't
that
look
wig.
like it.
Hey Roman! Hey Roman! Roman watching. What's up, Roman?
30 seconds.
Happy
Could
30
you bring
seconds.
us some Tylenol?
Oh, you never,
Your girl look like she got like an 800 credit score, like right off the back. Like,
Stupid. You stupid.
Sam, come on, man.
Get out.
You know you got 100% credit score, whatever. You got a credit score of 900.
850.
Sam gonna work into a car dealership and get a Rolls Royce. They don't ask him nothing.
Yes, you 1950.
Man, you know what? I really, you know what? This. I'm trying to do this today, bro.
All right, guys, it's showtime. Make sure your phone don't vibrate.
Ooh.
Unique perspective and
Mine don't vibrate.
you're in for a treat.
We know.
She says on vibration, put it right here. So we
You
gotta
go
do.
clockwise or counterclockwise?
I'm supposed to share this, right?
Either
When
way
I share it, say,
Either way works.
I'm supposed to share it? It said DT's airing live now.
Yes,
Right.
share.
Okay.
You see the live on our phone, right?
Yeah, I told DT,
Share
what day
post
was
now.
that? Saturday morning. Let's check it in.
Let's come back, bring it back to what it's supposed to be, and it's supposed to be what?
Your little arms are gonna get tried today.
We need one of them
Mike
fishing
Todd.
things.
Is anybody listening?
Everybody's listening. All right, welcome to the Urban Cafe 88.5 WMNF. I'm your host today, DT. How y'all doing this morning? All right, first I want to say happy Easter to everybody here in the studio and everybody listening out there. I want to send shouts out to everybody at Hardy Correctional Facilities who are listening.
Yeah,
We haven't got any letters in a while, but we know they're
you
listening.
guys mail us, email us,
Yes.
or send us a letter.
We want to say a happy, not even belated because it's kind of early, birthday to Eltrinda, who's had a birthday party last night.
It's my dog's
It's not until
birthday.
Thursday.
It's my dog's birthday.
And as we wrap up Women's History Month, this is the end of that. And so congratulations to all the beautiful and strong, independent, and nurturing women out there who contribute to society in some way, shape, or form to create a better country, a better world. So, it's the end of that. Get back to the men game.
Up to my Get back to the
Men all right, so today we're going to have a little bit of fun. But we're going to still stay in the vein of public affairs. And what we did today is I grabbed a few interesting clips from a few interesting people talking about a few interesting things. And and no one in the studio today has heard these clips except for myself. And so I'm going to play the clips. I'm going to test the crew on how well they listen, how well they extract, how well they process the information, and how well they summarize what they just heard. But before that, I want to go to quick takes. We've been having a great time over the last few weeks hanging out with each other off the air. All right, last night we hung out at Eltrinda's birthday party, and we had a good time. And,
Thank you guys that all came out. I'm so grateful to be a part of such a wonderful and supporting crew.
Yes,
I
we
just
love
really
you.
want to, and Rory just joined. Shout out to Rory. I missed the play. Tina did come and represent for Urban Cafe.
He ignored me though.
Hey Rory, imagine that.
Yeah, first time for everything.
Thank you guys for coming out.
Here's a little thing I need to do. For the Facebook Live folks are watching us right now live on Facebook. We're trying something new today, and so I hope you guys can hear clear. We're transmitting the audio wirelessly from the board to the phone with a couple of devices, and so if you can't hear us, just let me know in the text and we'll kind of, pull that plug on that. But hopefully it's working, and now you'll be able to hear the phone callers as clear as we can hear. You're getting the live feed from the board. And so for those who are watching on Facebook Live, I hope you're listening here and follow us.
Oh, guys, not on Easter Sunday.
I know.
DJ Tune Selecto. He says, "What's up, y'all?"
Hey, Tune.
Hey, Tune.
All right. Also, we got a chance to hang out at me, Valtrinda, and Tina hung out at the Caribbean cruise.
Oh, that was I did that too.
And Lo. I always forget Lo.
Oh, she was late like
to
Jamal.
correct that.
Yeah. Sorry to my heart, not my mind.
Yeah, we were out there and we got a chance to join them on stage and give away some giveaways. So it was fun. Lolo put me on the spot. I had to sing.
Yeah, that was cool.
Next time we'll give you a heads up.
You know, it was all those skills.
Yeah.
We also got a chance to hang out at the Moffitt Men's Health Fair.
Yeah, we've been busy, y'all.
Yeah, we have been
And
busy.
there was Law was there, and me, and Tina, and Valtrinda, and Jamal. So we've been hanging out a lot, having getting a chance to bond and get to know each other pretty much. So that's been great.
So they're commenting on the video and they're saying that the sound is great.
Oh, great.
So
great,
so
absolutely.
we're
Thanks,
stepping our
guys.
game up. Everybody.
Nerdgasm, we got it working.
Oh my gosh.
All right, so we had a great time. Any more comments? Anyone want to shout out before we get into the topic?
Well, I want to say hello to all the Atlanta women I met yesterday at the hair show, the natural hair show in St. Pete yesterday. I was the only one there with a weave. It was good, though.
But you was rocking that.
I had a blast, though. I had a blast. So, hello to Miss Annie. She has a natural hair store out there in St. Pete. Cool lady, cool lady.
All right. And last night, at Valtrinda's thing, there was a comedian. I don't know the guy's name, but shouts out to him. Not the host, I guess. Was
Ryan Robinson.
Ryan Robinson.
Yeah,
he was pretty funny.
hot. Yeah.
Is he like a local favorite?
He
He's
is.
been doing this for a while.
Everybody need a little R&R.
Yeah, great. So a great time. All right. And then the other, the gentleman who was playing, he was from somewhere.
Eddie Cooper.
Eddie Cooper. He was pretty cool too.
He's local as well.
Okay. All right. He wants to come drop in at the show one time.
Yeah.
So hopefully that'll happen as well. All right, so listen, we got to get into the meat of our conversation today. Again, I have some interesting clips. These clips might be somewhat controversial when you hear who the clips come from, or you might have some feelings about it, and you can give us a call or give us a text. And Tina, just to let everybody know exactly, in case they just came from under a rock today, it's right here in front of you, Tina, right here. You tell them how to text us first.
Have us.
Please
I'll
text
take it
us
over.
at 813-433-0885. Also, leave your messages on the Facebook Live. So if you're on Facebook Live, make sure you're commenting. We will read it on there.
Now look at that. The lady with the hangover was right on point.
I don't have a hangover. Today is not a thinking day for me.
All right. So we're going to take a quick break and then come back and get into the meat of our conversation today. So we hope you stick and stay right here at WMNF 88.5. You're listening to the Urban Cafe.
8791, the home.
The mic for it.
Can we get it out, bro? Can we get it out? Peter, Piper.
So we were the highest one I seen at one time was 27 viewers.
Donald Trump on Twitter specifically.
So the young people does anyone think this guy is a
love your palm boy.
president?
I think he would be similar to
Even Trump.
They say, oh, let's make America great again. How would America be great?
Is there an age when a woman not wear holes in her jeans?
Running water. And you
Here we go.
At least 80
I think it's
you
the
were
style.
still
It's
better
like
off than
saying,
75%
men shouldn't wear
These are my boy shorts.
I don't think there's no age limit.
It isn't.
Rich white people, they do it till they die.
So
Black people want to put an age limit on
let me get this right.
That's
As an attorney, you can never talk about my hair.
Tammy says good morning.
Good morning, Tammy.
This is where you should.
And this is where you are, 88.5 WMNF DT
Sticking
hosting
and
the
staying.
day, and I got the whole crew in the building. We're not missing anyone today, huh? This is a full crew.
Crystal.
Crystal.
Yes, I miss my Crystal.
Yes. Okay. So, anyways, let's get back into this. So, again, just to recap for those who are just tuning in on Facebook Live, we're doing a experimental format here. We're doing something new, something we haven't done. It's still in the vein of public affairs, but I'm going to test my crew on how well they listen and how well they extract information from what they just listened to, what points did they get out of it, and how they're going to process that information and how they summarize what they just heard. And so no one here in the studio has heard these clips except for myself. And so we're going to when we play the clips, they're kind of long, not super long, but about a minute and a half. I just want you guys to really key in on what's going on, and then we're going to have about a 5-minute conversation after each clip and see what you guys get out of it and how it pertains to what's going on in our world today. Are we ready?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Let's do this.
Yes.
All right, before I do that, to our folks on Facebook Live, please like, and share. The more you share, the more you like, the more we get more exposure on Facebook Live. We're the first radio show probably ever to do a live broadcast on Facebook Live. We are the pioneers. We are the trendsetters.
That's right.
Android just caught up, so you can now do Facebook Live with Android. But iPhone was first to do it. As iPhone is first to do everything smart on a smartphone. But if you got an Android, you can now engage in your you'll see more
Yes.
people doing that on their phones and using that tool like as a social media tool to get more exposure to whatever platform they're operating from. All right, so are we ready?
Yes.
All right, so we're gonna go into our first clip. I want you guys to listen to this clip, and I believe people at home and people on Facebook Live should be able to hear the clip as well. And so you can easily just text us a response. Right now, we do not have our phone lines open yet, but we will open up our text line, and we do see the comments coming in on Facebook Live. And so let's get into our first clip. Let's take a listen and have a discussion after this.
R 8791, the home. Congress shall now vote for approval of H.R. 8791.
All right, this show is not classified. I see a lot of bewildered looks around the room. And I gotta go to you first.
I feel like I was set up. I feel like I was set up because as soon as I heard classified, I look up at DT and he already got a smile on his face.
All right, so let me start with you first. What's your thoughts on that clip? Being that you're someone who...
Classified. My response is classified. No, actually, I've heard something like that before, and what that really is saying is that we can't name who our combatants are. We can't name who we see our viable threat at this time. However, we do have a plan in place if said attack should happen. I definitely picked up on the fact that is, worst case scenario. That scenario right there is basically talking about nuclear, chemical, biological warfare and how the government is going to maintain itself throughout those events. So if something happens to DC, if something happens to get your hands up. If something happens to DC, they have a plan in place so that government can still govern the people in such of an emergency. That's what I got. I'm gonna get it to Sam because he all on my.
Okay, so this was the Homeland Terrorist Preparedness Bill that was being voted on, and I guess how to plan what we would do. Sam?
This is crazy. All this is crazy. Classified. Listen, we as taxpayers, we are the ones that are the employees. And if these people that I assume they're
Employers.
Yeah, we are exactly right. We're the employers, right? We have at some point we've got the right to know if we're paying this, right? I mean, how long can they keep stuff classified? And secondly, if the
stuff can be classified for up to 125 years, depending on the severity.
All right, give it back. Exactly. JFK stuff is still classified. It may not become unclassified forever. But the point is, you've got elected officials voting on this, and they have to vote yes or no. We think it's constitutional or not constitutional, but everything they hear is classified. How can you make any kind of decision if you don't know what the hell you're voting on?
Jamal?
Yeah, I wanted to say that the fact that everything is classified and whatnot. I look at one thing with America is, and I never understand this, why we have so much of our information out to the public or to terrorists. If I'm a terrorist, I'll just watch CNN and I can say, oh, they want to come here or do this. I think that's something that just needs to be kept secret. You know, similar to how we do in court, we can keep court files secret where we know what's going on, but no one else knows. The fact that that was even spoke on should never have been spoke on. It's possible that you could have certain sessions which are just no one in the public knows about it.
I need to hear from one of the ladies in the room too. Any ladies, any thoughts of that? What did you hear? Besides the classified part, did anybody hear anything else?
Well, I know they said something about a terrorist bill, and for me, I believe that there are certain things that does not need to be released to the public. I have not full trust in our government, but I have trust that they know what they're doing. And if they did get the information out to us, wouldn't we be, I'm sure we're smart enough to know that if we're getting it, then the terrorists are also getting it. So, you know, I'm in agreement with it, you know, certain things being classified and just, you know, having trust in the people who know the classified information are doing the best with it.
And that's actually the point there. I'm glad everyone's kind of on the side of this tree-loving hippie next to me. Like, that's what people don't understand. Like, yes, things are classified, but you have to understand that in this day and age of warfare, people use our weaknesses against us. Like I said, I spoke about this before, where if we're engaged in a firefight or something, and then all of a sudden, this, you know, I've seen this guy drop 2 or 3 people in my unit. When I get up on him and I'm about to lay him down, it's, oh, I'm an enemy combatant, I wave my hands. They won't do the same thing for us. So to his point, to Jamal's point, yeah, the joke around the intelligence world is CNN is the classified news network, because there are things that have broke on CNN and we're just like, what, how in the heck do, you know, or we let our media go. I'm still pissed off at the fact that Geraldo said that one time years ago, this was years ago, but I haven't forgotten. He's like, I can't tell you where we are, but he drew this thing. I was like, do you not understand the severity of what you're doing right now? But everyone feels like, oh, because we pay taxes, this, that, States of America, continental United States of America, our territories over here and there. No one's, you know why people have terrorist attacks on us? Because there ain't no army coming over the pole. There ain't no ships rolling up on us like, yeah, let's knuckle up. That's why we have terrorist attacks. That's exactly why, because they know if you want to fight us, square up, let's go. They can't do that. That's why you have terrorist attacks. That's why you have things like that, because they can't combat us like that.
Nola?
I totally disagree. I mean, I think there's a difference between actually revealing what's an ongoing operation right now to actually talking about the laws put in place. I believe laws should be transparent. You can't just be saying classified in a situation where we have all this talk about, oh, the martial law or New World Order or all this stuff trying to take over. I mean, like, we need transparency when it comes to laws. I mean, because, I understand what Phil's talking about. When you talk about an ongoing operation that's actually endangering human lives right now, okay, don't reveal that, but we're talking about laws here that are going to be in the books forever. Now, I don't trust these people. We know how corrupt government is and politics is, so I can't sit back and say, oh, yeah, it's classified, and I trust this person that's going to do something, you know? It's going to be, everything's going to be, no.
All right, we're going to Sam, and then we'll go to a phone call.
Well, a couple of, I'm on your side, man. Well, absolutely. The government throws out so much disinformation at us all of the time. Just take a look at the NSA, right? What happened there? They lied and lied and lied to us. No, we're not watching. We're not taking your emails. We're not watching your phone records. We're not doing any of it. Well, yeah, actually, are. Hold on one second. So the CIA has been caught with their finger in the pie. I don't know how many times. After Freedom of Information Acts have been, they've been doing nasty, naughty, illegal stuff, right? And finally, Phil, to your point, the Belgian army is probably not one of the strongest armies in the world. Although NATO is there, the Brussels attacks, which is absolutely horrific, didn't happen because they had a weak army. Just saying.
All right. Anybody else before we move on? All right. So our caller drops it. It must not have been a caller. We're going to check our text line real quick. Can we check the text line, James, and make sure that nothing's on Facebook? No, I see, hey, Bruce. Good morning, Bruce and Rory, and quite a few people are logging in watching the Facebook Live. I'm going to check our text line. Tammy's watching as well. And as soon as James can get our regular text up, and we can know if any text came in, we'll see that hit.
I'll agree with Nola on this, because it does come down to, these are the laws that are going to be imprinted in the books forever. And that's something I think we should know. And along with what Jamal was saying early on is that some things we have such access to, and even other countries have such accessibility to us, but yet we keep other things, you know, behind the ball where it's not as accessible. So much like your CNNs or just TV in general, people can just watch American TV and figure out everything. It's not rocket science.
Does that make television culpable in these terrorist attacks?
Of course.
Everybody feels the same? Anybody disagree with that?
No, I think it's a little bit of apples and oranges, though. I mean, because to me, I think when we're talking about the law and making new laws and provisions on why we should have military on U.S. ground and stuff like that, I mean, there should be a lot of transparency on why we need to mobilize that kind of thing.
You know what? If you want transparency, you're welcome to join. You're welcome to raise your right hand, take an oath to, defend. No, because you want this information. But you know what? Raise your right hand, pick up a weapon, stand a post, or not, shut up. Everyone wants to know this information. You want to be involved in the law? Why don't you go run for Congress, be a senator, be in the know? Everyone wants to talk all this crap about, we don't need to do this, there's transparency. No, certain people, I don't know how a daily operation goes in law. I don't know a daily operation of how things work. All I know is that, when I go to a red light, it stops. There's some electrical engineer who makes sure the timing of everything works. But America, as long as it works, no one really cares. And then when it comes to an issue like this, then people who have no business even forming an opinion about something want to have all the things.
I can't form an opinion.
Yeah, we do have opinions.
Please.
What
I said. Okay. You don't. The opinion that you're forming.
Yeah.
Is asinine.
And why do you say that? Because
you
opinion that's not yours?
No, it has no idea because it's opinion like mine. But you sit up here saying, "Oh, we need to have this, we need to have that." Like I said, pick up a weapon,
that's
stand a post.
We're in a free country.
Right, pick up a weapon and stand a post.
Maybe
you are. And you know why? You know why you're in a free country? Because the people who make that bill, the people who
because
defend
we
that,
hold them responsible.
The people who defend that bill are the ones who do that.
Let me hop in. First, I want to holster your gun, please. We all friends in here. All
right?
Why? You get very
so passionate about it. But we understand the passion.
We definitely understand it.
But we need you to understand
but we need to be able to communicate here and agree to disagree on certain things. I want to go to a phone call and see what we got going on the phone call before I moved in. We only wanted to spend 5 minutes on the segment. We went a little long. Let's go ahead to our phone callers. Callers, good morning. You are on the air. And tell us who you are and where you're calling from.
My name is Jake. I'm calling from Tampa Bay, namely Clearwater.
Good morning.
Good morning. I don't know if you guys have had a chance to see the day since the sun came out. It's beautifully Sunday, and happy holidays to all of you. You might be celebrating this weekend. So I had just stepped out of my work, actually. I work a graveyard shift and caught your radio show. I listen to WMNF quite a bit for politics and news and things like that. I've actually been kind of wanting to call in, whether it be to any show that's accepting calls or Rob Lawyer, if you know the guy personally. And I hear a lot of talk about politicians and how people want to hold these politicians accountable, or left versus right or anything like that. An old Native American told me once that if you focus on one wing, you may never see the entire bird. And so I'm kind of concerned about my countrymen and my government as there doesn't seem to be a notion of power or real unity on what truly matters as we go through all of this chaos in our own nation and worldwide. If you look at the undertones of everything, you can kind of see a greater mission, which is the eradication of personal sovereignty. A lot of people, I think, these days don't fully understand sovereignty in the sense that I am one individual who has a certain amount of contextual values that relate to me in my life and people that I care about in my life. The sovereignty of one individual leads to the sovereignty of a home and a family, which leads to the sovereignty of a community, a city, a state, and therefore a nation. What we have these days is division rather than
I don't mean to cut you off, but we only have less than an hour,
off.
and we have a half hour left. We want to get to some other topics as well. So if you want to go ahead and make your point, we definitely would appreciate that.
congressmen, the senators, the presidents, the police, anybody who stands as an authoritative denizen of this nation, of the state, a community, they are employees of the citizens of this nation. Of course, it is the responsibility of the citizens of this nation and any community within this nation to be as educated as informed as possible so that we can have an influence on the greater good of our community. But at the end of the day, we have turned into employees for the establishment that we, through our tax dollars, employ. Would you agree with that?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
I agree.
I think that's part of the point that we're talking about, and the point that Sam was actually making. I mean, I think there's a big difference between somebody actually, the news or the media or anybody revealing an ongoing investigation that's going to actually endanger people's lives. Ongoing investigation. Like talking about rules and law put in place for a whole generation and not being transparent. I have a problem with that.
All right, let me move on. Thank you, caller. I appreciate your call. Nia is working our camera today for our Facebook Live. I know sometimes Facebook Live only give us 30-minute slots. I don't know if they'll give you a warning if it's a 30. No warning, so we can go the whole full hour. Okay,
let's do it and see.
Let's do it. All right. So if you don't, we have to stop. Okay. All right, so let's go to the next phone caller before I go to the next topic. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Tell us who you are and where you're calling from. All right, you go. Mango in the house.
Anyway, George, the other guy, y'all did let him get out his and I had a job where I dealt with legal and military aspects, and everything I did was a top secret. So I did papers that only my eyes, since the gentleman in there, he noticed my eyes only, and the colonel or whoever gave me the orders typed, and I carried it to a secret place. That's secret. When you put it in the courthouse, that's unconstitutional. There is no secrets. It's Freedom of Information Act. And when you put a law in effect, it's Freedom of Information Act. The laws apply. They do not disappear for nobody, no situation, no circumstance. Otherwise, we have chaos like we have now. You can shoot somebody and the state say it's okay because of their policies and politics. That's in the open, but it's done secretly. So there's a misconception there. I'm a veteran. I understand what he's saying, but the greater good is that they got people out here talking about militia. How you hiding something? They gonna know when to jump off. They gonna do their own thing. Everybody doing their own thing. There is no unity. Like the young brother just said, y'all. Happy Easter, and thanks for the time.
Happy Easter.
Thank you. Phil, I got a text from someone on Facebook says that understand that the majority of the classified information is only classified for a short period of time, normally less than 3 to 4 days. That was different than what you said.
No. It depends on what's going on. There are certain things, like, for example, there are certain things that will be, it's all about what it is. Mm-hmm. There's certain, I'm not going to say there's a, like there's things that I've signed before that says, okay, hey, this is classified for 75 years. This is classified for 25 years. It's about what you are protecting and the interest of it. Because, say, for instance, there's something that can be classified for 25 years, and for whatever reason, it's still, considered classified at 24 years.
Who determines how long something's classified for?
Oh, man, that's a legal thing. That's a Department of Defense.
All right, let me move on. I got some more topics here. We're halfway through the show, all right? I want to go to the next clip. I want you all to listen to this. I'm going to switch gears just a little bit, but it probably will invoke the same kind of passion. Let's take a listen to this next clip.
Years that Governor Chris was in office, an average of 38,000 people had their rights restored each year. 38,000 each year. The first year that Rick Scott was in office, 75 people got their rights restored. And ever since then, they've been averaging around 347 people a year. So while we've seen a drastic reduction in the amount of people who get their rights restored, what we seen was an expansion in the amount of people that were losing their rights. Because every year they would create more felonies. And when I talked about how, our things that come to mind are murder and rape and all that, when we think about felony disenfranchisement, in the state of Florida, you can get a felony conviction for driving with a suspended license, burning a tire in public, disturbing turtle nesting eggs when you're at the beach, catching a lobster whose tail is too short. Actually, let me ask you something. How many of you all ever went to Publix or one of those stores and bought a balloon that said happy birthday, get well soon, congrats, Grant? Raise your hand if you have. Don't be shy. Raise your hand. Raise it high. How many of you all, keep your hands raised, whose hands are not raised, have ever went to a memorial where they give out the white balloons or something like that? at a memorial? Raise your hands. How many of you have intentionally or inadvertently released those below the knee? Raise your hand. In the state of Florida, all of you will be convicted felons. That's a third-degree felony in the state of Florida. And if prosecuted and convicted, you would lose your rights for life. You wouldn't be able to vote. You wouldn't be able to serve on the jury. You wouldn't be able to run for office. You wouldn't be able to live where you want to live. You would have severe restrictions in employment. You'd be just like me. You'd be just like the guy that murdered somebody.
Right side. All right, that was a clip from Desmond Meade. Walter Smith for the Sunday Forum brought him in to an engagement here in Tampa not too long ago, around the time we were doing the Black History the Black History Festival. And the one before that, the clip about the bill, the terrorist bill, the person you heard then was a Republican Pennsylvania Representative John Haler. All right, so let's go back to this Desmond Meade and this thing about becoming a felon. Any comments on this? When I see Beltrinda's reaching for a mic, and then we'll go to Lowe.
To me, it seems like I'm not going to say small because I don't want to minimize it, but to me, small things like, driving with a suspended license or the whole balloon thing. I know you asked us about that, some time ago, and I was like, a felony for that? And then you could serve time for it. But yet we have people on the streets that are in authority that are killing our young people, and they're not convicted of anything. But I'm going to go to jail because my license is suspended? I think that's a little bit absurd. And to me, the fact that they will go so hard. I believe if I was to go outside right now and let a balloon out, they will go so hard at convicting me to make sure that I'm locked away.
Why? Why do you think?
I feel, one, because they will try to make an example out of this law. Somebody's got to be the one we're going to pick to say, no, this law is real, and you, my dear, are going to be the example that we're going to set. Versus all of the killings, all of the, the cop over the young people. And I know it sounds like we're beating a dead horse, but I think that's really important to the fact that, we are locking away people for these crimes to prove a point of a law. But when it comes down to authority, doing something that they're not supposed to do, they can't get away with it.
All right, Nola, John.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just to jump on what a small part of what Valtrina is trying to make a point of is that this is all about the prison industrial complex, right? And what it's all about is the way they're targeted. They're not targeting the 1% or maybe the 10 percentile. They're targeting the people that are vulnerable to these laws and can fill up the jails and the prisons and all that stuff.
Yeah, like a
That's
young
just all
black female.
I mean, because she made a point about, you shouldn't be going to jail for driving a suspended license. Just tow your car and pay a fine or something like that. I think that would deter you from actually driving on a suspended license. I know Jamal was looking at me. But at the same time, you take a look at like the financial crisis. When we talk about Wall Street and all that stuff, like those people that were responsible for that stuff, they weren't even in prison. The only one person that I remember that was actually in prison was Bernie Madoff. And there's a joke running on social media that the reason why he was in prison is because he actually stole the money of the 1%. That's why he's in prison. He stole the wrong people's money. So when you think about that, the bigger picture is a prison industrial complex, and the people that are targeted are the people that are vulnerable to the laws, that they can't defend themselves to fill those prisons because it's a big business.
Exactly.
All right, before I go, I just want to say good morning to Serena. She just logged into our Facebook Live, and she's somebody when I first got down here to Tampa, I touched base with. She told me about a lot. So Serena, I'm glad you're checking us out. All right.
Good morning, Tina.
We're gonna go to Jamal and then Lowe.
Yes. I would say, as an attorney, people ask me sometimes about getting your rights restored, and like Nola said, the issue is it's part of a plan. In the state of Florida, 1 in 4 African Americans, they say, this is according to the Sun Sentinel, cannot vote based on this, and they make up just 17% of the state. And how it works is, it's similar to the previous clip about the classified information. The law, everything is pretty transparent, but what's not transparent is the process behind things. Because Florida has a lot of things, forms which are pro se and whatnot, but to actually figure out how to maneuver the system, that's where the issue is. So I look at this as just part of, in my view, a bigger plan to, have people not vote and control elections.
What you said, I'm going to go to Sam, but before that, Bruce just chimed in and said, let me see if I can see the eyes. I ain't no glasses. Okay. Disenfranchised voters are a calculated policy to suppress voting so that the people in power stay in power, much like gerrymandering.
See, that's kind of along the line what I was thinking about, because I think it has a lot to do with the control aspect. Just controlling, if it's mentally, if it's physically, and even out there spiritually, there's a control mechanism that tries to occur between certain parties or, diversities or what have you. So I think a lot of it has to do with control. So controlling things, you change the law, or you put idiotic laws in place to control a certain party or a certain demographic to kind of just mess it all up and not restore, rights of the simplest things.
I'm going to low.
Well, what I wanted to say is that I do believe the process for restoration of rights it's not transparent. As Jamal basically was stating, and the process is unknown to many. And I was able to attend the forum with Desmond Meade, and my concern was that there is a different process, whether it's the federal versus the state level, and that's not easily understood. So you have folks that maybe are trying to take the necessary steps, but it's not the proper steps. So then again, they're still remaining disenfranchised with this movement and trying to restore their rights. But along with the prison industrial complex, I do feel, in another sense, that it is the school to prison, pipeline, if you want to look at it that way, that it is a way to suppress someone's right or control them for not being able to vote.
All right, I'm going to go to Sam, and then I'm going to go to the callers, and then go to the next clip. Go ahead, Sam.
Thank you. No, but I think I agree with everybody's points here. I just was going to throw out a couple of stats. I was listening to Cory Booker the other day. I think it was on the Bill Maher show. And so, for people who don't know who Cory Booker is, he's now a senator from New Jersey. He was the mayor of Newark, and instead of going and living in the governor's mansion, he went and lived in the projects. So, and he still does, by the way. So he was saying 1 in 4 African American men in Florida have been touched by the loss of their rights, right? Which is voting. But essentially, now that we're moving up to vote president and vote, for all kinds of stuff, that makes a big difference. I have no idea how many people that's, but 1 in 4, that's a lot.
Yes.
And
just think about it. When you're taking away someone's vote, that's the power of you making a change and making a difference. And you want to take that from someone? So that's.
So what happens with doing the crime and then doing the time? Well, if you've done that, then it's over, right? Then you get restoration. Exactly.
Let me go to the phone lines. We can go to the caller. This caller was holding for about 11 minutes, so they may be commenting on another topic, the previous topic. If so, we'll just let them make their statement and then we'll move forward.
And we apologize.
Yeah, we apologize for keeping you on hold, but it's a passionate room here today. All right, caller, you're on the air. Tell us who you are and where you're calling from. Good morning. Okay.
Here, when we talk about classified information, let's go back to 1961, in Operation Northwoods. Operation Northwoods was created by the CIA. Basically, it was classified until 2000. It was released in 2000. It said, let's sabotage shipyards, start riots, start rumors, blow up drone planes over Guantanamo, have mock funerals and mock mourning of friends and relatives. And we'll say the Cubans to create a war consciousness in America. I'm practically quoting from this document here in 1961. And Kennedy rejected it. And look what happened to him. So, I think we're having the wool pulled over our eyes in that case here.
All right, thank you for your comment. I'm going to go right to the next caller. The phone lines are starting to light up, and I'm going to check the Facebook in a second. But good morning, caller. You are on the air. Tell us who you are and where you're calling from. Hey, are you buckled up? All right.
Just a little change on one of the earlier discussions about balloons. I am a mariner, professional mariner, and I have seen so many of these mylar balloons floating around the ocean and washing up on beaches. And I've tried, on sets, to get some kind of outlawing or banning of these mylar balloons. I think when we were kids, we had rubber balloons, and we got along fine. And I find it, a good thing that they've actually made it a felony, but I think they just outlawed the sale of them. It would be more logical, but maybe they're shifting as to the expensive or the rich industrialist who wants to manufacture and make money and just taking it out on the person who buys it and releases it. So, what's your comment on that?
I think you made a great point. They should maybe just ban the use of those materials or those balloons. That's not a necessity for us in life, having the helium balloons, are they? You know, so they ban that instead of putting
it
people
is
in jail
for kids.
Yeah, good luck explaining that at birthday
I
parties.
mean, I know every year.
Just ruin all the kids.
My mom's, remembering my mom, every year we release balloons. That's just something we do.
Y'all going to jail.
Well, that's what we do. But I go to Jersey to do it, though.
Why can't they make them biodegradable?
There you go. There's a market. There could be a market for that. There you go.
You know what, DT, I want to make a quick comment about like what we talked about, like disenfranchising voters and everything else. I think we should look at a bigger picture of what the political landscape of this country is all about. Because a lot of times when we talk about that strategy itself, it favors one party. Like if you have 1 in 4 African Americans actually disenfranchised that can't vote, it favors the Republican Party.
Yeah, exactly.
But at the same time, we have other tricks in the political system that the Democratic Party uses against the Republican Party to gain elections. So it goes both ways. I mean, so it's one thing to actually look at that and say, okay, one side is doing this just to make sure this other side doesn't vote for them. But the Democratic Party does some things too. So
well, either way, like, and that's the issue that I have is because you have so the Republicans want to run the country this way, Democrats want to run the country this way. Ain't nobody running the country the right way for the common people.
Do we even know what that means?
Exactly. Like, what is that
Have you ever
anymore?
had that?
Like, have we ever done that? What are we doing? Are we doing things to help our country, or are we doing things to help certain people in our country? Whether it's the rich or whether it's the poor, either way, we got to come to an agreement of like what's best for everyone. You're not always going to make everyone happy, but come on.
Well, let's all come to an agreement, then I'm going to go to the next point.
Yay!
Yeah.
Let's go on to this next clip. Let's go to this next clip. It follows some of the things that we just mentioned in the last clip and some of the comments that were made right here in the room. Go ahead.
The biggest problem right now, post-Katrina New Orleans, would you say?
Crime.
And what's the root of that crime?
Jobs stop bullets. Economic development. And crime is about education and opportunity. People will challenge me and say, well, hey man, you had the opportunity. Look, it's on those people to take advantage of the education and opportunity. But we all make contributions to this, to a dysfunctional dynamic. And people have to look at their contributions, to the dysfunctional dynamic. So when we look at our neighborhoods that are in crisis, crime, violence, murder, understand there's a responsibility, personal responsibility, yes, but we have memorialized policies too that are contributing to that. And let's make sure we let's have a comprehensive approach, get rid of it all. It's not monolithic. Oh, they need to pull themselves up by their bootstraps, or it's the education system, or you have to understand people make money by keeping an underclass. And so people make money by keeping a criminal class. We've privatized our prisons. The only way you make money if you go into the prison industry is if you have prisoners. How do you keep prisoners? You make sure you lobby against any education reform, because education is opportunity. That's not going to take you down a criminal path. So if you have an uneducated class, you know that's eventually going to become a criminal class because they're not going to have any skill sets, and then you keep your prisons filled. So, it's the prison industrial complex that people talk about. So it's multifaceted.
That was a clip from Wendell Pierce, one of my favorite actors from The Wire. Yeah. And also Treme, which is his hometown, and he's also an advocate for a lot of things in that area, in the New Orleans area. Good to hear him say that. Anybody want to comment, jump in on that topic right there?
Is he pretty much giving the reasonings for the murders, the violence, and the crimes and so forth, stemming from the lack of work?
He's telling you how the whole
dynamic unfolds.
Right, the dynamic about everything. What not having education leads to crime. So you won't vote for everyone to have the same opportunities in school. You will say, okay, make it to kind of how it is here in Tampa. Oh, this school gets funding, this school doesn't. The school that doesn't get funding, it's probably in those areas, in those neighborhoods where crime is more prevalent. So that's the whole, it's a domino effect.
But much like he was stating also is that everyone has that opportunity to change or to make their life different.
Right.
So do you think that we would maybe be given somewhat of an excuse as to why these violent behaviors are occurring? Because everyone has an opportunity to make their life different.
Does everyone have an opportunity?
I think they do. That's just my opinion.
Okay, sorry to tell Tina the truth, but everyone doesn't have the opportunity. You have to understand this. Everyone go to school and have a PhD. You'd have unemployed PhDs. Coming from a city like Detroit, where at one time, before I left to go to law school, you're probably honestly looking at about 40 to 50% unemployment. Education is not necessarily what they're focused on. It's about making sure you don't have jobs. I know people who are educated, master's degrees, who are drug dealers, whatnot. They rob people, but sometimes it's not because they want to a certain extent. It's because they have to feed their family because you've been unemployed for years and unemployment ran out.
Well, I disagree because growing up, I was a young woman with 4 children and a husband in the streets of Brooklyn in the projects. But I made sure that I went to school, I had a job, and I did what I needed to do. I was in the environment of where 90% of them would not succeed. But I chose to make a difference in my life because I had that choice.
I believe it. And I don't think that's what, I get exactly what you're saying, and I'm with you on that. I absolutely, you have to take personal responsibility, but I think it's deeper when he said, the one thing that I heard that he said was, you have people who make money off of people not being educated. You have people who make money off the fact that you have prison systems. You have to populate those prison systems. So for every, oh, we are the greater good, or you can do something to uplift yourself, you have people who are trying to, it's a business to keep you not to do well.
So do you think that those same people, be it back in the 70s when I was young, black, with young children, you don't think those same people wanted to make money off of me, but I just seen my option to change that? I mean,
and I get what you're saying, but it's at the same time your situation with your situation, which allows you. I'm like I said, I'm a very big proponent of saying you have to take personal responsibility in what you do. I think it's a deeper issue when you have something in the masses, and you know everyone is not gonna. If a flood comes through, everyone right here is low and Sam might be able to hold on to the raft, but it's for the masses. That wave is gonna get mostly everybody. So if you have 1,000 people in this one neighborhood that you're really trying to suppress, and 10 people make it out, I'll take those numbers all day long.
I want to go to Nola. I want to go to my next.
And I think Tina, just to say, the dangerous thing about actually making a judgment on a whole bunch of people from your personal experience is that your personal experience is unique to you, and there is a collective effort, just like Phil said, to actually keep these people down. Like, for instance, a lot of people make a lot of jokes about, crabs in a bucket, crabs in a bucket. Black people are like crabs or minorities are like crabs in a bucket. And you get a few people that go, you know what? Do the crabs belong in a bucket? Who put them in the bucket in the first place? You know what I'm saying? So but people get caught up into crabs in the bucket. I mean, but they don't belong in a bucket.
I like crabs.
Just a second.
All right, listen. I'm going to go to a phone caller. Now I'm going to go to my next topic. We're running low on time, so hopefully, caller, thank you for holding for the last 10 minutes. Tell us who you are, where you calling from, and if you can, keep it brief because we do have 2 more clips we want to try to get into this show. All right, Jay.
Hey, Jay.
First and foremost, I want to say that you guys have got a fantastic show going. I don't know how often you guys run your program on the radio here, but I like all the subjects you're hitting on. I like the contrasting standpoints. You have mature conversation. Keep doing what you're doing, guys. It's good knowledge. It's good information. And what I want to say is that on the subject of all of these topics, really, they all kind of tie together to a major point that's on my mind a lot, and that is the fact that looking beyond race, looking beyond tribulation. I'm actually the son of an arsonist and a drug dealer myself. I worked through poverty and did what I could to help my family overcome addiction and adversity in all ways. 2010, I was penniless. 2015, I made $28,000 due to hard work and dedication and resilience. And what I can say as a young individual in this country is that we have got our work cut out for us because both standpoints on the most recent topic are absolutely correct. I think that hard work and making the right decision and a good, strong work ethic can lead to success for anybody, regardless of their situation. But I also think that there are people who already have a good control over this entire planet, old money, if you will, that stand in great effort to try and suppress that because they do not want to come away from their own fortune for fear of having to live in the real world. And that is causing a lot of crime, a lot of uncertainty, and certainly a lot of manipulation in particularly my generation, where kids are growing up choosing to be drug dealers and thieves and criminals because they don't see any other opportunities. And I have taken efforts personally to try and contribute to their greater goods and see that their talents and their ingenuities and try to expose them to that. I've failed more often than I've succeeded, unfortunately, but it is a very pressing issue, and much like I said earlier, we as a people, as a nation, need to come together and see the true values that really built the success of this country, such as hard work, honesty, integrity, things that I don't think are properly fully appreciated anymore.
First, I want to say thank you for calling in this morning. Thank you for calling twice, and thank you for the compliment you gave us. We do feel like we're one of the best kept secrets here in Tampa Bay. This show, on this station, we have a very dynamic, diverse group of people here with a bunch of different a bunch of different opinions and philosophies, but I'm glad that someone knows that. Thank you. And I also want to thank you and say, we've been doing this for 3 years, so please, if you're going to tune in and listen, feel free to call. You sound like a great caller. We would love to hear from every week on every topic we talk on. All right, let me get to the next topic. Run out of time. And these last two clips are really important, but I know we're going to run out of time, so I'm going to play one. I'm going to have to really keep the comments short and sweet in order to get two in, because if I play only one, it's not fair to the other one. So let's go with the first one now.
Mr. Trump is a business. If you look at Mr. Trump is a businessman. Certainly, he's done great things in the business world. Oh, yeah, his dad was a nice fella. He ran a little dusty work. And like Mr. Joe Kennedy did. That's right. White folk are allowed to be criminals and pass on money to their children to become clean. That's what Michael Corleone was trying to do. But Frank Lucas and none of our brothers who've done great in the drug culture, they were not allowed to have any money to pass on to their children that they could build on the era of the father that made something better for the children. But Mr. Trump is tearing away the skin of the onion of white civility. And the more he pulls the skin of that onion back, he's beginning to show something in the character of the whites that follow him, that they don't care what he says. He could say one thing this minute, another thing the next minute, and you could see that the man has a little problem. But he is exacerbating the race situation in America. And I will guarantee you, if he becomes president, he'll take America exactly where America is headed.
All right, that's Farrakhan talking about Trump. Before we run out of time, I want to play another Farrakhan clip where he talks about Hillary, to be fair. All right, let's check this out.
But that's a wicked woman. Listen, you can vote for her, but vote for her with knowledge. She can be sweet, but so can you. And you know when you're sweet with playing a game. All of a sudden she know about Trayvon Martin. All of a sudden, the boy been dead nearly 2 years. Now she's talking about him like she met the mother and people, this is Satan. You fall for that crap. Most of you that went to jail for having a little blunt in your pocket, they arranged that. The Clintons. That's true. Mass incarceration came about under the Clintons. Don't forget that. That's right. They call my young gangbangers super predators. Call you a super predator that has no conscience, no sensitivity. Like you a dog, you an animal. We gotta bring you to heel. You, my young brothers, this is what she said about you. And she didn't just say it. It became law
All right. So let me get into this before we run out of time. We got about a minute left. And anybody want to comment on those two clips? We got to keep it really short. But
she's right. She's right. She's absolutely right.
Certainly the second one about Trump. Trump never used any of his own money to fund any of his stuff, from his ribs to his vodka to his casino. None of that was his own money.
Business is about using other people's money and not yours.
That's right. But he touts himself as a super businessman. But all of his ventures have gone belly up.
All right. Anybody else?
I think there's a lot to be said about what he said, but there's a clear bias to what he's saying, because he definitely hates Hillary Clinton, but he made a praise to Donald Trump, which is kind of weird. But I think both of them are speaking the same language in different ways, and we got to pay attention to that. I mean, I hope we get into it some other time, but they're speaking the same language in different ways.
All right. So listen. Go ahead real quick.
Thanks for the tease.
All right. So listen, I want to thank everybody for tuning in today. This was an experimental format we just used today. I think we'll try to do this. I think you guys got a lot out of this. I think I got a lot of this. The callers got a lot of this. It's something we can definitely try to do again. All right, stay tuned. Coming up next is the NPR News, followed by the Sunday Forum. And for our Facebook Live, folks, thank you. Stay on for a while. We're going to be on for another 15, 20 minutes.
WMNF Tampa.
WMNF Tampa.
Goodbye.
I wasn't going to forget it.
I know. I was going to say,
make sure.
That was next Sunday at 9, because the guy he didn't know how often we were on.
About that.
And I ended up saying
about that last topic. Oh yeah. About that last topic. Man, there's a lot to be said about that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I know it's okay. The crime bill of 1994 drove the prison population from 800,000 to like over 2 million, which is fair. You know what I'm saying? You could blame Clinton for that. But a lot of people are to blame for that, because if he didn't go for that bill, he couldn't pass anything. So yeah, you can blame Clinton, you can blame the Republicans, but all I'm trying to say is you could blame the political system that actually adopts the kind of style to actually make sure things like this happen. That's what my take is. Yeah. Shout out to Neil.
I'm trying to get some things moving. So we can.
All right, give me splitters, please. Splitters, please.
Sound like a carnival bar.
Guys, can we get this? Can I get this? Look at this. Look at this Facebook Live. Look at this. Y'all see this? This is where it's at. The purple hair. Yeah.
What do you think? What I look
Okay. Yeah. All right, give this back to you.
Get on with that.
You don't want to be on the Facebook Live? She's being shy. She's not usually shy. Check out her whatever page it is. Oh, hold on, y'all got me out here.
I love how you just grab my face. Grab it. Good morning. Yes.
I gotta be careful how I do that.
Yeah, you gotta watch out. You gotta watch out for that video too, because you know she got stalked.
Okay.
Debbie done came after you.
I thought about Tina. I thought about you. You're a single lady, right? Look, Facebook. What we're gonna have an auction. We're gonna auction off Tina. See this nice young lady here. Tina, you ready to be auctioned off?
What are you doing now?
We're gonna auction you off. But she knows to raise some money. You got a juice? You have extra juice for me?
Are you still recording? Oh, I hope you guys enjoyed the show. We had a rough night last night, just celebrating the Queen here's birthday, but we did it. We always prepare. We're always on point, and we did the darn thing, right? So I hope you guys enjoyed it, and please stay tuned and keep listening, call and text and all that good stuff. Keep tuning in. We enjoy you. Thank you.
They can't see you start. They can't what? They can't see you because it starts. It's cold in here.
I can't sit next to you today, okay? Because you got that thing. Plus, she was being mean during the week.
I was being mean?
She was being mean to me on Facebook. She thinks that I can't even get into it. She thinks I'm not innocent
You're
as
not.
I am.
I don't eat that though.
But
I don't eat
you guys got to check out her. What's it? What do the kids be on Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook?
You can take me off. I bought me some tea, but I don't know if there's any honey in there.
I mean, it's time for a wash.
Thank you so much. No, I was trying to.